Aloha, y'all. It is Thursday, hence the name. The 13th, rather, of January. The sun is in Capricorn, the moon is in Gemini, Mercury's in Aquarius, Venus is in Capricorn, retrograding, Mars is in Sagittarius, Jupiter's in Pisces, Saturn's in Aquarius, Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, Neptune's in Pisces, Pluto's in Capricorn, and the North Node is in Gemini. Let's go ahead and get some cards for the day. See what's going on. I've got a lot on my mind. I actually I didn't go because I got podcasts and stuff today, but I could have gone snowboarding, and I was dreaming about snowboarding. It's kind of funny. I haven't been in a few years. But of course, we got the wheel, which is Wheel of Fortune normally, but Wheel of Life in this deck. The wheel, very beautiful psychedelic art, higher self kind of doing weird stuff. And it is number 10. So let's go ahead and figure this out. On page 42, the Wheel of Life. Karmic forces are at work. Balance the light with the dark, understanding nature's cycles, watching time pass, opening yourself up to the unfolding of life around you. The Wheel of Life. I understand there's a time and a season for everything. The only truth is change. Like seasons, our lives are in constant in parentheses, revolution, evolution, kind of play on words there. The Wheel of Life shows us that every living thing is in full cycle, from birth to death, followed by rebirth. The law of conservation of energy states that the energy of a closed system must remain constant. Our universe is the closed system, so the energy in existence has always been the same. Nothing is ever gained or lost. The forms our energy take, however, are constantly changing. The artwork depicts a vast wheel surrounded by ghostly figures. It's symbolizing the personality journeying through time with all of its different facets. The dramas of who we pretend to be, the different parts of ourselves which struggle for dominion in a world that operates on the principle of scarcity. The belief there is not enough produces so much struggle, such suffering. The ghosts of the past and the ghosts of the future dance to the great wheel of time, searching out who we were, what we said, what might have been, seeking where to go, what might occur. The mind, ever restless, analyzing, commenting, distancing itself from the heart. We are always projecting ourselves, quote unquote, onto life out there. However, viewed through the lens at the center, the all-seeing eye reminds us there is a constant, unchanging center to all changing phenomena. It's true our lives are in constant process of change and evolution. Every project, person, business, government, and country is birthed, matures, and dies. Much as we try to control our lives, nothing stays the same, and death and decay must come to us all. All the movement, the striving, and relinquishing causes such pain and discomfort because it takes us out of the present moment. The present moment, when everything is just as it is, spacious, yielding, if only we could let it be so. This is the center of the Wheel of Life. When we open ourselves to the aliveness of the present moment, all is unfolding perfectly in the mystery of life. We expand and receive the wholeness of the moment, poised, alert, and utterly alive. We wholeheartedly accept what is, love what is, without judgment, meeting the isness of the moment as it is. In such moments, we have no wish for it to be different or better or more. We have no disappointments, no sense that it is not what we worked for. Nothing to be, nothing to do, nowhere to go. This moment is complete unto itself, untainted, unmeasured. We shift perspectives from playing a character or role in life to the space in which life occurs. The Wheel of Life also reminds us that what appears positive and uplifting contains the seeds of its opposite. So whenever something major changes in our circumstances, to not be overly attached to the outcome. You've met the man of your dreams. How wonderful. Maybe yes, maybe no. You've moved to your dream house in the country. Lucky you. Maybe yes, maybe no. There is opportunity in everything, brilliance in everything, the cup overflowing with life in everything. So, the Wheel of Life, karmic forces at work, balancing the light with the dark, understanding the nature cycles, watching time pass, opening yourself to the unfolding of life around you. Very appropriate for where I'm at in my life. I'm just going to, let it be the hub of that wheel, accept where you are. It's hard to accept where you are with the idea of progress, with the idea of achievement, with the idea like Capricorn Sun, Venus retrograding Capricorn. It's like, am I doing the right work? Is this job for me? Is this house for me? Is this relationship for me? That kind of energy. I want to work towards the best, the highest, the goal, improve. And it's hard to kind of sit still and be acceptant given all the chaos of our minds and the world around us showing us that more, how do you like it? Is like been the mantra of our species for a long time. And there's nothing in some way, I don't want to judge that, but it's like there's multiple ways to operate. You don't want to just sit there. I think it's too easy. It's like too good to be true to just sit there and be at peace and then everything comes to you. But maybe that is the secret of it all. I don't know. We've got the Queen of Fire as the clarifying card. They're both very similar looking cards, which I'll show you in a second in terms of motif. I mean, the Wheel of Life, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Fire. Very similar symmetry of faces, kind of coloration even to a point. So let's go ahead and get what we got here with this, the Queen of Fire. Keywords are warm, vibrant, sexual, sensual, independent, primal, expansive, and energetic. Key phrases: be optimistic and enthusiastic. Mars and Sagittarius. Your actions are going to be met with the highest expansion and the most positivity from the universe. Kind of think of it that way. You have luck. Jupiter and Neptune. Pisces. Engage and stimulate all your senses. Very Moon and Gemini. It's like, check it all out, right? You want to be at the center of the wheel, but that doesn't mean things going on around you or close your eyes to them. Give your full attention. Capricorn Sun. It's like focus. Be focused and confident. Very Capricorn Sun. Take pleasure in life. Don't second guess yourself. Hold your head up high and avoid petty behavior. The Queen of Fire is a strong and powerful woman. She is someone who is not afraid to go after that which she desires most. She is focused and determined and very optimistic. Those around her find her charismatic and engaging. Her warm and expansive nature draws people to her like moths to a flame. She is also very primal and sensual woman. She engages her senses in all that she does. She is the type of person who will always look you in the eye, will reach out and touch your hand and listen closely, giving you all of her attention. She savors life like a glass of fine wine or velvety dark chocolate. She is vibrant, alive, and unforgettable. She has the power to change your life in the moment you first meet her. Her independent nature makes her a natural leader, not a follower. Her confident and self-assured manner has her achieving all that she wants and sets her mind to, and because she is so embracing and kind and not interested in competing with anyone, she is loved by many. A natural extrovert, she loves being the center of attention, but also gives her attention in equal measure. When the Queen of Fire appears in your reading, she's asking you to be optimistic and positive. Now it is time to focus on pleasures of life and enjoying what you do. Be bold, be daring, be fearless. Now is not the time to second guess yourself or allow doubts to prevent you from acting upon an idea or plan that you know will bring positive change and growth to your life. She also suggests that you seek out a Queen of Fire type if you need help. She has a vast network of friends and associates, and she is only too happy to point you in the right direction if you are looking for aid. Don't be afraid to ask her for guidance. This queen is the kind of person who takes just as much delight in another's success as she does her own. The Queen of Fire symbolizes living a life full and being fully present in every moment, right? Being present at that center of the hub of the wheel, but also enjoying the color all around you simultaneously. Can you dig it? Live a sensory life. Stimulate your senses. North Node and Moon and Gemini. Like, check it all out. All of them. See, hear, listen, touch, taste. Your senses are a true gift. Put them to use. So it's funny because yesterday we had a podcast with a few people, German and Austrian people, talking about touch and the need for touch and stuff. Not to lose touch with your center, in a sense, right? But also to engage your life fully and not be afraid of your body, not be afraid of sex, not be afraid of experimenting with drugs and stuff like that. But you got to be responsible, like Capricorn Sun. You can't, as George Harrison would say, have a piece of cake, but not too much. You don't want to eat the whole cake all at once. You'll get sick. You'll become dependent on sugar. You'll get fat. Maybe you'll even choke. So, all in that vein, going there. We got number 107. This is a future timeline. Orion Light, it's called. Interesting little artwork here. True compassion. Orion Light. Future timeline. True compassion is a deep recognition that all consciousness is part of a greater whole. All consciousness is a part of a greater whole. And then engaging with that passionately, fully. There's shadows to that, so you got to be careful, but at the same time, like, you're embodied to be embodied, not to avoid the body. Whatever one aspect experiences is experienced by this whole. Thus, when you see pain and suffering in the world, know that pain exists within you too. When you find pain within you and embrace it fully, the whole feels your love and compassion. At first, this may hurt because it is natural to try to shield yourself from pain of another, but eventually the love you share will melt away the pain. The Orion light asks you not to fear pain and to use it as a gateway to true compassion, right? So you can't miss out on life and just say, I'll only do things when it's like the best conditions. You want to be wise and like, when the wave's right, jump on the wave or whatever. But at the same time, you can't just wait for perfect conditions all the time. Sometimes you got to just deal with what you got, like dance with the shoes you're wearing and not be afraid. And even if you find yourself in the midst of like stressful and painful, fearful situations, there's compassion to learn through that too. The last 4 cards of the deck access the Orion Light, which connects to a very evolved era in Orion history. Within the Orion system, where polarity was at its deepest, the concept of oneness or unity was something incomprehensible. But once the Orions made their transformation with the help of an awakened master, they realized that every person in their reality, even those who were previously feared or despised, is actually an aspect of themselves. It's all you out there. And then the stronger you are in your own journey, the different the dream will be on the outside. As the species consciousness transformed, true compassion was born. The ability to see every other being in creation as an aspect of the one, and to care for and love others as you would care for the Creator himself. With this new awareness, separation could no longer be maintained, hearts opened, and rapid transformation of the Orion people began. Eventually, the same will happen on Earth. If you pulled this card, the meaning depends on your circumstances. It may be a subtle message to develop your compassion more, not from a philosophical perspective, but from a transformational one in which your perspective changes from separation to oneness. Conversely, the card may be acknowledging your progress. If so, congratulations! Kind of like the end of Neon Evangelion. Congratulations! Neon Genesis Evangelion. Also, remember that compassion is necessary towards the self. Often we are the most hurtful to ourselves, judging or punishing ourselves for perceived flaws. In order to transcend polarity and awakening, this self-judgment must stop, right? The shadow of the moon in Gemini and sun in Capricorn is that we're fickle-minded and judgmental, and we're not like picking any truth, and maybe, we've got to go with our hearts, the things that drive us at a not just a pleasurable level, but like what our heart turns on to, and then just be still and enjoy the ride. Be at the center of that wheel, the hub of the wheel. Witness well. So the self-judgment and that polarity thinking kind of must stop. Treat yourself with the same kindness as you would any other being in creation. If you truly embrace the concept of unity, then you cannot omit yourself from that equation, which I think we have a tendency to do. I know a lot of light workers, love warriors, however you want to call it, earth angels, are so caught up in helping the karma of others, right? Maybe fixing the world, that they forget about themselves. They forget to take time out and have a piece of chocolate, or they forget to, go on a vacation and stuff. It doesn't all have to be work and suffering, though there is a lot of that to do. There is a lot of work to do. It's the great work, and it all is suffering in some weird way. Like there's no escaping it. But so escapism isn't the answer. But at the same time, pursuance of joy in life and fulfillment of reality is how, in spite of maybe fears and dangers and stuff, is how we develop compassion for ourselves and others. It's like, oh my gosh, look, there's a crazy alien. At least he's engaging with that, and he'll die if this is his death scene, or he'll live and remember, I came into contact with this crazy demonic-looking alien gloop stuff. What a trip. Thank you, life. I lived it to the fullest, and I saw all the flavors and shapes, and didn't hold on to any one too long, right? We have to have this balance of karma. You can't just repeat the same lessons over and over and over. We're not here to do that, so... But at the same time, there are cycles and routines and things like that too. So I hope you see what I'm putting down. My moon is under Gemini, so it's definitely probably getting triggered right now where the moon is. My own indecision and, fickleness and all that. We've got equality, number 14, the seahorse as the divine animal. Right, moon, one for each side. Moon and North Node in Gemini. Seahorse, equality. Seek equality in relationships, in particular intimate ones, right? So give and receive equally. Don't just be a giver only and get nothing back. That's a very drying experience. And then don't just ask and ask and ask and never give. That's a very selfish kind of Circe mode, right? I say Circe from Game of Thrones. You will attract what you resonate. You can decide your future. You could decide your future, right? Hiding from our fears is rarely a good strategy. And I know I do that a lot. Maybe this is one of the shadows of the sun in Capricorn, where it's like, if it's not going to succeed, why bother? It's a waste of time. Or, oh my gosh, it's like, actually, I'll have true compassion for the whole wheel of life at one point when I fully engage it with my heart, Queen of Fire. Hiding from our fears is rarely a good strategy. Not never, rarely. So you don't want to just avoid things because of comfort zones, but you want to also be aware of the fact that sometimes some people are addicted to leaving their comfort zones, like thrill seekers or whatever, extreme adrenaline junkies. It is time to ensure that domestic and emotional labor in your world is shared equally. So be strong in your relationships and get a job, kind of thing. Mythos. It is said that the beautiful sea nymph Salacia was happy and content, and that she kept a sea garden of beautiful corals and seahorses. The king of all the seas, the great Neptune, so Jupiter in Pisces, saw her one day and set his heart upon her, wanting her for his wife. Salacia was chaste and inexperienced and feared Neptune. She was afraid that he would take her away from all she loved, or worse, she would hide from him. So she hid from him in one of the furthest oceans, right? Running away. Almost like, it is what it is, like fugitive mode. Neptune meant no harm or disrespect to Salacia and searched for her, sending his favorite dolphin to look. Dolphin found Salacia and her seahorses, and they explained her fears to him. Moon and Gemini communicate, talk it out, see all the sides. The dolphin assured them that they would be happy with Neptune, and Salacia would not lose the thing she most loved. Salacia consented to the marriage, and Neptune loved and honored her. She wore pearls in her hair and rode in a pearl shell chariot drawn by seahorses and dolphins to signify the equal union. If you have ever seen a seahorse in the flesh, you will attest to how wondrous these animals are. Swimming upright, this bony fish without scales has a distinctive horse-shaped head and a tail they wrap around sea vegetation. They are very beautiful and can appear in a variety of colors. They range in size from a tiny 1.5 centimeters to a robust 14 centimeters, but all move in supremely delicate ways. Most have a propulsion system made up of rapidly oscillating fins, including the dorsal fin, and they often float with the current to get from place to place. They have no teeth and suck up their food. One of the most famous things about seahorses is their reproductive cycle and the high involvement of the male in rearing their young. Seahorses have elaborate courtship rituals that can last for many days prior to the actual mating. When they are ready, the male opens his brood pouch, which contains the sperm. The female deposits her unfertilized egg into the pouch, very Mercury and Aquarius, very weird kind of communication and rituals, and the pouch closes. The eggs are fertilized, and the baby seahorses grow within the male's brood pouch, protected by him. His pouch makes him look quite pregnant, and when they are sustainable age, between 5 and 2,500 little seahorses are ejected from the pouch. The magic. Like most ocean-based elemental magic, the keys here are flow and fluidity. However, seahorse magic can be best utilized around issues of equality. If you want to be seen as an equal, or if you're being discriminated against in sex, race, or status, you can ask for the help of a seahorse energy and receive balance and justice. Symbology is the seahorse head, seahorse pulling a chariot, beautiful sea goddesses with a horse. Status, there are 43 species of seahorses, and the majority of which are vulnerable or endangered, so we have to be better stewards of our environment and just aware of our little seahorse friends. But they have their karma too. I mean, they're on the wheel of life, observing things from the seahorse perspective. There's a really good documentary on Netflix about, it's called My Octopus Teacher, and you'll see that, even the sea life we tend to dismiss is very intelligent and very part of the whole. Not to dismiss any part. To be as passionate and full of support and life and confidence and joy in all forms of life is true compassion, right? Whether it's a little seahorse or an octopus or a president of a country or yourself, you need to have awareness and compassion spread on all fronts. So let's go ahead and get an art oracle card. I'm going to be playing my electric guitar. I'm going to be traveling next week, and be gone for 3 weeks. So I'm going to be playing it as much as I can while I can, kind of thing. So we've got Caravaggio. This is some Venus in retrograde, Lilith in Gemini with the moon in Gemini and North Node in Gemini. Sometimes we can have dark thoughts. Our heads might be our enemy. Off with his head, right? Off with your overthinking. So, let's see what Caravaggio has to tell us. By today's standards and achievement and quality and things, very Capricorn sun, Caravaggio would have a medical diagnosis. He was kind of crazy, Mercury in Aquarius. A genius, Mercury in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. He was also belligerent and homicidal. Bipolar, possibly, moon in Gemini. His frequent travels, Mars in Sagittarius, were due to law evasion, not wanderlust. Plague left him a young orphan. Immense talent won him society's patronage. So Capricorn sun, achieving on the world stage. Like his life, his paintings are passionate and bloody contrasts, right? The equality, the balance of the whole wheel. Like, it takes compassion for good, murder scenes as much as like comedies. Like his paintings, his life was passionate and bloody contrast. Light and dark, innocence and brutality, with lots of severed heads, right? And Moon and Gemini, showing bipolarity. And this is the example with David with the head of Goliath, his famous painting. While killing it professionally, Capricorn Sun, Caravaggio literally killed a pimp, Venus in retrograde Capricorn, justice in the world, love world, and hierarchy of hookers and stuff. He then made his final masterpiece as a fugitive and died shortly after being jumped by vengeful assailants who busted his face and eyesight. Classic Caravaggio. So the advice we're getting from Caravaggio is adjust your eyes to darkness. Adjust your eyes to darkness. There's times of complete, dark ages. There's times of golden eras. There's yugas, there's cycles, there's, spring and fall and winter and summer in your life and in the world outside of you. You've got to adjust your eyes to those things, right? Like it's saying, adjust your eyes to the darkness. Accept it as part of the whole. It's unavoidable at some level, and that is kind of the balance of life. Like life and death are both part of it. So you kind of, fear and hope, same, two different sides of the same coin. The Queen of Air is saying, follow your heart, and that's how that heart light is how you adjust to the darkness around you. Because without that, you'll just be in your head kind of ruminating and thinking of all sorts of conspiracies and fears and stuff. If you get way too up in your head, you're way disconnected, right? Mercury and Aquarius. But if you get in your heart, you can't go wrong. And when you get in your heart, that's when you have compassion for your situation. You have compassion for your enemies. You have compassion for your blind spots. You have compassion for yourself. Those are the negative things. And your positive compassion would be gratitude. It's like, oh, I'm so grateful for these things. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for this encounter with this weird alien thing. So we need to adjust our eyes to darkness, because that which we fear is really teaching us something. And that, that which will kill us is only making us stronger. And that, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like that energy. So Capricorn Sun is saying, do the work. And Gemini Moon is saying, try to think about it differently. North Node of Gemini is saying, you've been thinking about this wrong the whole time. Possibly. So we've got apophyllite. You can quantumly entangle with this stone. It says what it is. Apophyllite acts like a teleportation device to places transcendent, right? And it's even got, not exactly, but similar coloration, I guess you could say, to the multicolorations of this. Apophyllite. It's very colorful and like all sorts of levels. Often sourced from enchanted India, birthplace of Tantra, Yoga, the Nag Champa, apophyllite clears skepticism, cynicism, and logic from the spiritual path, right? So it's very queen of, the path is there, it's, for everybody, but we start having true compassion for it with our hearts, and we illuminate the darkness, we adjust our eyes with this kind of heart energy. Who needs it? Anyone looking for a ray of light from on high to hit them with the good, something good. Where to put it? Wherever you practice religion, meditate, channel, or pray. When to use it? When the spiritual life feels like a moving target. Like the bullseye is hard to hit. It's like the spiritual life, the target is just to be yourself and then like respond well. And sometimes not respond at all, right? When the spiritual life feels like a moving target, when you feel skeptical about your true purpose on earth, right? And that could very well be a shadow of Venus retrograde in Capricorn, Black Moon and Lilith in Gemini, and the Moon in Gemini, where we're just like, I'm not sure what to do. I'm all over the place mentally, but we know we're here for some purpose. Sun in Capricorn, we're here for a reason and to do work, but we're not sure what that work or job or location or identity looks like. When you feel skeptical about your true purpose on earth, when you feel like your but thoughts are dishonoring the innermost. So it's like, a good example, I'm contemplating going to visit and or relocate back to Hawaii. I'm not really set on that. I'm just in Colorado doing nothing. So I'm like, why am I here? I'm not going to go to school in the spring for music because they want to vaccinate me. But there's a lot of pros and cons to Hawaii, right? It's an island, mostly vaccinated, heavy military presence. Orwellian measures could be implemented there relatively quickly and easily and I would suffer from that. So it's not, but like that Gemini Moon, that kind of contradictory overthinking, we got to take that out. It says, beam yourself up, way up. And that's how we do it. How do we get to this highest perspective of self that accepts with compassion the whole wheel of this moment, this monad of being, with equanimity, with balance and perspective of heart, leading to compassion for all situations, whether you're in a dungeon or in a tropical paradise. I lived in Hawaii and had alcoholism and all sorts of issues, depression issues. I was in paradise and working a shit job and hating my life and stuff. So it's like location doesn't change anything. That's why I'm not like expecting that now. I just want to be where I need to be. And maybe right here, just doing not much in my mom's house is what I need to be doing. But somehow I feel like I need to do a little more. Adjust your eyes to the darkness, right? Squint, check your eyes, because sometimes that wheel has details that are all good. It's all balanced, good and bad times. But you got to like bring your heart to it in order to transmute it, or else you'll look at everything as a challenge, an evil trying to kill you. You'll play victim perpetrator mode. Am I in control of life? Is it dominating me? It's like, no, life is. It's all good, right? Equality. But are you bringing your heart? We're basically in this matrix life thing to come from the heart, learn from the head to how to be from the heart. And that's what the compassion is. When you stop, even in battle, or if you kill a deer for eating your meal or whatever, you'll bless it and thank it for its dance, its part in the dance, the great dance. So adjust your eyes to the darkness. Don't be afraid. Fear not. Jesus said that more often than any other kind of thing. He said he wasn't so worried. I mean, there's I guess a few Bible verses on homosexuality or stuff like that, but basically it was like, love God, love yourself, love others, fear not. So let me get my electric guitar and we will go into a jam based off of the astrology and cards. I'm trying to get this microphone to sit still. Good enough. What else? Oh my gosh. It's like not sitting up. There we go. Okay. No, it's exactly backwards. There we go. All right, cool. So, with the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Gemini, we're probably thinking a lot about options in terms of how to be in the world. But the world is Venus retrograde in Capricorn changing. Pluto in Capricorn. The world is changing. So, just getting a degree and going to school might have made sense a few years ago. Doesn't maybe make sense for a lot of people now. Moving to a big city might make sense a few years ago. Doesn't make big sense now. That doesn't mean run from cities or run from people or run from education. But it does mean to be discerning to the ability you can be, and to try to see the world from multiple perspectives, being grateful. All right. So, with this, the Wheel of Life and the Queen of Fire as a clarifier, let's make some music to accompany that vibe. So, life is this thing. In a sense, life is always happening, right? Capricorn, it's like the work's never over. Capricorn Sun, but we can make play of it. Moon and Gemini, North Node and Gemini, but even our fears become part of the game and part of the witnessing of life. The wheel turns. There's good. I try to make it like a contrast of, equality. Happy sounding as much as like mysterious darkness, right? So happy, good times. Oh yeah, my checks are coming through. I have a girlfriend, whatever, like life. And then, oh my gosh, I'm depressed. Are the aliens invading? Is this the end of the world? That kind of energy, right? We have to understand there's a balance in life and to boldly face it with love, face it with action. Sometimes the action is non-action. Sometimes the love is silence and solitude. But to bring compassion to ourselves, to all situations, to not fear is really the key. And I'm telling myself this because I'm dealing with a lot of that, right? Not fear your enemies. Goliath could have crushed, the size. Capricorn Sun, the biggest guy in town, the winner, the dominator force. Capricorn fought with Gemini, the kid. David and Goliath. It was not an equal fight, but ultimately equality was made because size, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, kind of thing. And then you have compassion. It's like, well, was he a Nephilim? Oh my God, what was going on? Who knows how this works? But to squint and see, it says, adjust your eyes to the darkness, right? Adjust your eyes to the good times and the bad times. The good has some bad in it. The bad has some good in it. Adjust your eyes. Act accordingly and know that. But beam yourself up, way up. And I think that's coming from an energetic place. Beam yourself up all the way up to the highest self with your heart. And that's when you get to the center of the wheel in this life and then understand your other lives and parallel lives and infinite selves. And you say, wow, thank you. What's next? And here we go, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed the jam. I try to play something new every time I play. If it's songs, it's a little different, but yeah, if you want cards, $33 for cards for an hour. People love it. I love doing it. So you'll get something like this for an hour with me for $33. For $88, you get 3 hours of astrology, which is a lot of fun, and you'll know thyself, right? You'll know what the center of the hub of the wheel looks like in this incarnation for you and how to hold on loosely or grip onto that better. And $111 for both. So you get a whole kind of who am I through Jim's mysticism kind of thing for $111. Check out the podcast. We had a great conversation yesterday with a few people. I'm forgetting all their names right now. Don, Michael, and Bernadette. Germany, Austria, I believe. And Raphael's in Austria. But we were talking about touch. Today we have some more guests, and I'm off the top of my head, I can't remember who they are, but 2 podcasts today, so check it out. It's a great show, and it's quality content, and it will make you scratch your head. North Node and Gemini Moon. It'll make you question things about your world. Capricorn Sun, Pluto and Capricorn, how to revolutionize, how to change your perspectives. Check out the podcast, holler for readings, and I'll catch y'all. I almost did this because I'm trying to hide my finger because I took off the bandage. Enjoy your day to the fullest. Adios.